everybody, it's Tony George along with Sean Salisbury here. We're breaking down some Big Ten action here. Michigan State taking on Indiana. Indiana and, of course, their stud Jackson Davis. They go as he does when it comes to scoring here. We do not have the line out as we're taping this as a look ahead for you on Friday for Saturday action, but Indiana is going to be favored anywhere around 5 to 7 points in this ball game as Michigan State takes to the road. And Sean, not a good year for Tom Izzo. They've had some issues with COVID there, which obviously kind of took any mojo they had going out of the way here. But 2-8 against the spread his last 10, and usually Izzo's a cover machine, as well as being a good coach in the gambling world. But one thing about Michigan State this year, they don't have a reliant offense whatsoever. As a matter of fact, and I never thought I'd say this about a Tom Izzo coach team, they're 39% from the floor their last 5 games. And that just doesn't – that in a quarter doesn't even get you a cup of coffee in the Big Ten right now. And, of course, they're scoring 65 and allowing 72. Again, we're talking about a Tom Izzo coach team here, and that's just very uncharacteristic of them. On the other side of the coin with Indiana, you really don't know what you're going to get with them on a day-to-day basis. They've got basically one scorer they count on a lot, Sean, and they've been hitting 41% from the floor their last 5. So basically neither one of these teams are lighting up the scoreboard here. I think this is an interesting game here. I don't know whether Izzo could coach him up to cover a number at Indiana or not on Saturday. Your thoughts?
And I don't know if you've ever been to Assembly Hall, Tony. I'm one of those guys that loves venues, and even though seems like a blah game with these two, with a blue blood program, and Tom Izzo's turned it into a blue blood program at Michigan State, obviously, and Indiana is Indiana. But listen, when have you ever? How many times over the last 15 years have you gone into a game or a season or a tournament thinking you can get healthy against Michigan State, right? And listen, if you get to 70 points the way it looks in this game, you win. You win because Michigan State's offense is not playing good basketball. Tony, I go back at times and look over some of my, we're filling out our bracket for the tournament, not just the conference championship tournament, but the NCAA tournament. I'm going to tell you right now, there's 2 teams over the last decade, a dozen years that I've had in the Final Four more than any other team. It's been Michigan State, mainly because of Izzo, and Kansas because of their 47, 5-star lottery type guys they seem to get every year, right? From Bill Self, those 2 teams, the majority, if I go back and look, I'd say in the last decade, 12 years, that 8 or 9 times I've had either one or both of those Elite 8 to Final Four teams, and probably half the time one of them winning a title. I think Tom Izzo is one of the best coaches of college basketball, but as we know, no players, no shot, and they don't play very well, and COVID's affected a lot of people. I know Izzo's not going to make that excuse, but this is a team that they're getting pushed around, which is it's not his style of basketball. He doesn't mind if they only score 68, but he expects to keep you to 60. And they don't have enough offensive firepower. And Indiana's not exactly loaded with it. And you're right. I go on a show in Indianapolis every week, and I shake my head because I try to follow that program fairly closely just because of the history of it. And in case we talk basketball on that show, I'm flabbergasted because I don't know. This is a team I wouldn't gamble on much the entire year because I don't trust them on the scoring end. Game inning, I don't know what I'm going to get from him. Right now, to the point, I know what I'm getting from Michigan State. They both better have really good runs in the Big Ten tournament. I'm not a huge fan of this game, but it's Assembly Hall. It'll be fun, physical basketball. First team to 70 wins. I would be thinking at this time of year that as bad as Izzo's team has been or as average as they've been, that with a game like this, getting close, Tom recognizing the sense of urgency that he could get his team to elevate. If it's 5 to 7 and Indiana and the Hoosiers are favored in that 5 to 7 point range, I would take Izzo's team because I don't think either team can extend it offensively where they can run away with this game. I like Michigan State, but I don't like either one of them come March.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you to look at the dog in this one, but I would probably give a heavier lean if you can catch this total anywhere from 133 to 136. I'm thinking this is going to be one of them grinded out games. Both teams are barely scratching 40% from the floor. I think this is going to be an under game. I think you might see both teams. This easily could be a 63-58 ball game. I mean, this
Or
is not.
Dean Smith. We
Yeah,
could have Dean Smith go 4 quarters on him, even with the shot clock, and it's 48-44, right? Could happen the way
right.
they play offensively at times, right?
Yeah, I think this is definitely an underplay here. If you can get this up around 136, 137, check the line. I probably would give this a serious lean on the under. I just don't. This is not going to be a track meet. This is not going to be up and down the floor launching threes. This is not Pepperdine playing Santa Clara. This is a.
Yeah, I was going to our old school Loyola Marymount back in the day, right? You know what, Tony? I could already visualize Izzo like at halftime if they get to talk to him. You know how Tom, the flustered, like his team's like shooting 28%, and he's got to go in and chew them out at halftime and drop a few F-bombs. I can already see that Izzo, if it doesn't go the way he wants on the road, like his halftime talker when he just – I can already see that look in his face. I would expect them to show up as much as they can. I'm with you. If that's around 137 points, I'm digging into my wallet for the under, but I still like Michigan State. At this time of year, Izzo has a way, but this team's not very good this year. And we won't say that much about this basketball program very much. This is the aberration the last couple of years. He'll find a way to get it done eventually, just not this year.
Well, to contain the score a little bit, Izzo's going to have something in store for Jackson Davis there.
Has to.
Yeah, he has to, because if they can double up on him and force other players on Indiana's roster, to either getting down on the shot clock where they got to try and make threes and stuff, you're going to have a lot of back and forth here. I think it's going to be under. So that's the call here from Tony and Sean in the Big Ten here on your look ahead play on Friday.